It's 7 o'clock.
Good night, everybody. Good night, good night. Good evening. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Caribbean American News Network. Yes, how was your day, folks? Let me just try to see if I can get my audience settled in over on our YouTube channel. Just bear with me. Boss Lady D, how are you? Pleasant good evening to you, my friend, and to all those who are logging into our Facebook platform. We want to greet you. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Please share the live. Please share the live. You know, once it is Monday and Tuesday, it is Caribbean American News time. There are some very important matters that are in the news today, and that is the CCJ. A lot of people are talking about it, and whether persons are informed, whether they know what it's all about or not, folks are talking about it. Tonight we want to give you some information on the CCJ, and it is up to you, friends, to come to your conclusions. But what we want to do is to have an educated base. As I said, you must have the information. Sometimes you have to cool down a little from sometimes the noise and try to educate yourself, understand what is happening. How my friend Sylvia? Welcome to the platform over on our YouTube channel. The problem with my YouTube is that, hi Lauren Hippolyte. May, how are you, my sister Lauren and brother Lauren and brother Hippolyte, sorry. Greetings to you. Camilla, Glasgow. Welcome, Charles. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. As you come in, I'm seeing you, so I will greet you. But folks, how was your day? How was your day? I know you have been bombarded throughout the day with all sorts of information on the CCJ, and many of you are just jumping on a bandwagon. You don't even know what it is. That's the truth. You don't know what it is. And so what we want, folks, hi Juliana, what we want is that we want you to be educated. When I say educated, I don't mean you have to go to school and everything tonight. But what I want you to do is to be an informed individual, where you don't just jump on on the bandwagon. Once somebody says shout, you start shouting. What you want to do is to understand what is happening. All right, we're going to discuss it tonight in details, and I'm hoping at the end of our program we'll be able to give you more information on the CCJ. And I'll tell you, for me, I am still doing my research. I'm still looking at the CCJ. What I find is that what the Philip JP administration is doing, I think that they're taking the wrong path, and they need to correct course when it comes to just taking solutions into the CCJ. We want to talk about that, the importance of a referendum, getting the people involved in these major decisions that would affect the legal system on the island. And so we're going to discuss it tonight, but we're going to wait for you to share. Please share, share, share. Bear with me. I'm going to just... Angeli, how are you? Blessed, blessed, blessed. Yes. We're going to talk. Happy Monday, Lucy. Just bear with me, folks. I have to ensure that our YouTube, it is up and it is running. I am not getting the updates in real time, so just bear with me as I reset the platform here. Please share while we doing that. Okay, good. I will have to update ever so often. So sometimes I'm seeing one person on YouTube, but there is over sometimes 50, 60, and that is a malfunction that I will have to get fixed on my on the real platform here. All right, so let me see if I can do something different. Just bear with me, and we will start the program in real time. Bear with me, folks. Okay, I don't want full view. I just want to have a look at our audience, our views. Good, good, good. So ever so often, I will have to reset my system so that I can get real-time updates on our viewership there on YouTube. All right, let me just do the final reset. Bear with me, folks. I'm here with you. Final reset. That's it. And then we are taking off. YouTube is experiencing some issues when it comes to updating the viewership, so bear with me. All right, so we're going to take off. We are going to take off live and direct, folks. Here's wishing everyone a beautiful, beautiful night. Folks, what do you know about the CCJ? What do you know about the CCJ? Now think about the question, all right? And we're going to fix it tonight. Yes, sir. We are going to fix it tonight. Just bear with me, folks. Now remember, the key here is to share, subscribe, like, and follow. Okay? And by the way, we still have the soup kitchen that we're planning. I told you I was going to build one, and I am still going to do it. I'm not playing. We're going to do it. All right? So don't think that all is done. We are here to stay. We are not going anywhere. All right? Good. Okay, so let me just fix this mic properly, get it in place. Good. And then we are going to charge off. I'm just waiting for folks to join the platform. I know somebody's having a live tonight. I think my friend Gregory. Just bear with us. Okay, Shane said it's just a court system. And you're right, it's a court system. The CCJ is a court system. It's the if St. Lucia goes into the CCJ, it will be their final court of appeal. The final court of appeal. And let me ask you, how many Malaways have gone to the Privy Council? And how many Malaway would be able to get their cases heard at the CCJ? Really and truly, it's the bourgeois. Are we together? You listening to me? It is the bourgeois with the monies who can get their cases reviewed by the CCJ. Mr. Philip Japere, business people, Sandals, political parties. For instance, if there's a problem with the voting system during elections and Mr. Pear, the elections is called for Mr. Shastney, Mr. Pear said, no, I won. Takes it to court, or Mr. Shastney does the same. Take it to the courts. The courts rule locally. They're not satisfied. They take it to the CCJ. The CCJ will make a decision, their determination. What the fear really is that if the courts are biased or stacked, people are afraid that it might be stacked, biased. You might have more SLP supporters, judges, whatever it is, or friends of this one there, and it might taint the twist the hand of justice. Persons are afraid when it comes to election petitions that they would not be able to get the justice. We know in the last elections in Guyana, we saw a battle where one side was declared the winner, the other side was declared the loser, and that fight went right into the CCJ. And there are many other cases in the Caribbean that went to the CCJ. We saw right there in St. Vincent, it was placed in the hands of the people of St. Vincent. As much as Ralph Gonsalves is considered to be a crazy guy, Ralph Gonsalves knows very well that in major decisions such as the court system and final courts, that he must consult with the people of his country. So Ralph Gonsalves, understanding that as a lawyer, majority of government ministers, I suspect, are lawyers, senators, lawyers. And so Mr. Ralph Gonsalves decided that he was going to allow the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to make that decision. And so it was placed in what we call a referendum. Just like elections, you vote for your party. With a referendum, you vote on an issue, on a single matter, like the CCJ. And so it is put before you, the citizens, like Ralph Gonsalves did, and you decide whether you want to go. So now what happens before the referendum, there is what you call that the educating of the people. So you would have educational campaigns all around the country to ensure that the voters understand what they are voting. Sometimes it gets political. Are we together? Sometimes it gets political and, things happen. But we got to be able to trust the people when it comes to these major decisions that will affect the legal system in St. Lucia. You must. You must consult with the people. And so we see a precedent being set in the Caribbean where parties look at other countries and decisions that the other countries would have made, and they would say to themselves, I am not going down that road. I'm going to shy away from going down that path of referendum. Why? Because we saw what took place in St. Vincent. The people rejected it. Why did the people reject it? I'll tell you the truth. And I'm here to tell you the truth. Majority of Vincentians did not even understand what the CCJ was, where it's located, who is sitting on the benches, on the bench. They did not know. The regular person don't care about CCJ. It doesn't affect them, basically. That's what they will tell you. They don't care. Huh? They don't. The bourgeois, however, they're concerned about CCJ. But really and truly, the local regular man on the street, he don't understand it, he don't care. So what happened in St. Vincent is that the opposition leader put out a very good campaign, got the information out to his people. There were grassroots campaigns started against the CCJ, and some people voted simply because they had lost an election. And so they took the opportunity, they took the referendum opportunity to beat down Ralph. And this is what happened, basically. So they said, look, anything you put forward, we're going to vote against it. Anything you put forward, we are going to vote against it. And because Ralph Gonsalves was not too popular at the time, it was defeated. And because sometimes government don't know how to work together, like the prime minister, opposition, they don't understand the concept of working together on these major issues. So what you have was a great divide. A great divide. And so the Vincentian people stood up and they said they said to the prime minister, no, we are not going into the CCJ. So the other governments now coming behind Mr. Ralph Gonsalves, they're saying, look, and they're being advised, by the way. Don't think that they're not being advised by outside persons. There's outside influence. Yes, they are. There are persons who are hoping one day they will sit on the CCJ. They are friends of friends who are hoping that they will sit on the CCJ. And so they influence governments who are in power. And this is a campaign that has been going on very long, even under Mr. Kenny Anthony's time. Those talks were there. It is not new to St. Lucia. The problem in our country is that persons do not pay attention. People prefer to be fighting, the roro, the cussing off. I hear there's another set of cussing off on stream again, another set of carrying on, which does not help in any discourse. And I always say that. There is no need to be doing what you're doing, what we're doing. Shouting and screaming. There are major issues that need to be discussed. Not with all the heated excitement and the noise and the mépris. These are major discussions that we need to take our time. And the time that some of these online bloggers take to be cussing off people, they can educate themselves on the matter. They can educate themselves on the matter and they can come with a good presentation and say, look, I did my research, I did my homework, I went online, I looked at the CCJ, and this is my conclusion. But they can't do that. They're major in cussing off and all the nonsense that I see happening. Look, my friend Anson is over there in a red hat, red suit, jumping up and down. That's my little friend. Jumping up and down. Shasne, shasne, shasne. There's a CCJ discussion going on right now. But he's talking about, oh, they don't want you to say, they don't want you to know, and they don't want you. Who don't want anybody to know what? In this age of enlightenment, you still think that anybody can keep anybody in the dark? No. Information is at your fingertip. some people are just socially lazy, if that's a word or a term. They're just lazy. So all the excitement over there, and thank God, Mr. KKRR, who considers himself to be my friend now. He's gone dead center, and because he have gone dead center, most of the those who enjoy a good curse off, they realize that there's no excitement anymore. The man is spending more time giving his little jokes and I be trying to be as center as he can. Huh? That's where we want to be. But to stand on the flabbo side and cussing off everything that pass, every time somebody sneeze, you think is at you cuss, you quarrel, by the way, let me say something before we move on to the CCJ. I have some clips that we're going to look at, but I want you to share the live. Let me just look at the CCJ. Look at my YouTube. I got to update it ever so often so that I can see the full reflection of our viewers. Now I can see. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing over with our numbers there on YouTube, all right? So every so often I have to update it. But let's really talk. Brethren, let me say something. If somebody is not attacking you, don't attack them. And there's a rule to this game. If people are not calling your name and they are not bothering you, don't interfere with people. This world is a very harsh world. And for those of you who encourage, please, I beg you, it is time for us to change course. We have major stuff to be first to discuss right now. By the way, I want to wish Dion Williams in Dennery I want to congratulate her on becoming the chairwoman of the Dennery group. So congratulations to you, and you have my support. All right, you have my 100% support. You're a young person, and that's what we want to see: young people coming in and taking leadership and leading their community groups and community political organizations. That's what we want. That's what we're encouraging. And again, we got to discourage the Donald Trump type thing that we're seeing. We got to, because I'll tell you, at some point you will not be able to control it. Look at the Republican Party. You have the Trump supporters versus the regular, normal Republicans. Look at it, out of control. They can't even they went through hell to select a leader, the Senate, the Speaker of the House. They went through hell because of that seed that was sown on the inside. And we must learn from the past. And we must try, by the grace of God, not to repeat. And I say to all decent supporters of the United Workers' Party, and you realize I use the word decent, all decent supporters of the United Workers' Party, please don't engage. Stay focused. Do not engage. And even though you are told that you are not United Workers' Party, you are just hanging around or bumming around, I say to you, remain calm. Remain calm in your soul. And for those who are spewing this type of bitterness and divisiveness, I will say to you, watch this space. Righteousness always wins. Righteousness will always prevail. It will take some time, and some people will feel like they're having the wind behind their backs. But I will say to you, righteousness is a very serious thing. Right doing. If you are guilty of something, and you know in your heart of heart you are guilty of that something, the ideal thing to you, according to the wise men, is to just keep your mouth closed. Don't try to convince anyone that you're being lied on. That's not the truth. But remember this tonight. It is the 27th of February. Mark my words, righteousness will win. And the glory of God will be seen among the people. So let's move on. So I give you the joke of my friend Anson. He's over there. You know, he's sweating. He's getting a sweat, building a sweat on Mr. Chasney. You know, and I will say to you, let the man is entitled to sweat. He's entitled to sweat. He is entitled to sweat. So what am I going to say? But let's go over to the CCJ now. Let's see. We have a number of clips that we got to look at tonight. Let's look at the case that was thrown out. And there's a similarity. You know, there's a similarity between the Dominican petition and the Guyanese petition that was taken to the CCJ. So let us look at it. Let's educate ourselves tonight, folks. We're not going to be engaging in any row and any bacchanal. You know, let sinners continue in their path. Righteousness will prevail. Every high thing will be brought down. And I will say to you, I have placed certain things in my prayer at the feet of Jesus. And I say to you, watch this space. Watch this space. Let's go over to the CCJ report from Newsroom. We're going to look at the similarity of that petition, that election petition that was submitted to the CCJ for decision. And again, that was we're going to be looking at the Guyana appeal with the elections, the last election appeal, and we're going to look at the Dominican elections. All right. Let's go over to Newsroom.
Thing that we need to establish before we go ahead with this explanation is to really let people know that when we talk about a comparison between the cases in Guyana and Dominica, it isn't really a comparison to the election petitions that were filed, but rather a comparison of the appeal that were filed at the Caribbean Court of Justice. And I'll come back to Guyana in a few, but just to quickly lay out the facts as it relates to Dominica. In 2019, after the general elections there, 10 election petitions were filed, and all of those election petitions were dismissed. What we saw is the petitioners moving to the appeal court of the Eastern Caribbean Court in Dominica and filing appeals, and the court really refusing to entertain those appeals, saying that the trial judge never made any final decisions, and that went to the CCJ. The CCJ handed down its ruling yesterday. The judgment was read by President of the CCJ, Adrian Saunders, and he, in essence, upheld the decision of the appeal court there in Dominica. This is where the comparison comes in, because Guyana also has an appeal before the Caribbean Court of Justice, and it is really dealing with an appeal that was already made to Guyana's Court of Appeal, where a dismissed election petition 99, was appealed to Guyana's Court of Appeal. And we really had a split judgment with two of those justices saying, we have jurisdiction, we will entertain the appeal, and one other saying that the Guyana Court of Appeal has no jurisdiction. And really that is because when the Chief Justice, Roxanne George, had ruled, she had ruled on non-service, and it wasn't really a final decision on the merits of the case, which is similarly to what we saw in the Dominican case, not an argument really on the merit, but on the ruling dismissing the case. So when we talk about the comparison, that is what we're really talking about. And that is really the foundation of the argument that the Vice President, Barjack Dio, and the Attorney General is really putting forward to the CCJ as it relates to Guyana's case that, you know what, the Chief Justice threw out this election petition 99 on the grounds of late service. She never really dealt with the merits of that petition. As a consequence, that is also an interlocutory ruling, and really and truly it cannot be appealed. So on July 19, the Caribbean Court of Justice will finally hear arguments in the appeal filed by the representatives in Guyana to the CCJ, and they will shortly make a ruling on that. Lots of people are really looking as it relates to the similarity between the two appeals in Dominica, in Guyana, and there are some persons who would anticipate or are expecting a similar ruling, the CCJ really saying that, you know, it was an interlocutory order and it cannot be appealed as they've done in the Dominica case. So it's really something to look at closely. There's no telling how the CCJ really will rule in the Guyana case.
Okay, I played that to show you, just like other courts, when it comes to election petition, there is always a challenge where some of these courts either just not act as swiftly as they should. We have petitions, now St. Vincent is not in the CCJ, but there are petitions by the opposition party there in St. Vincent, Mr. Friday, Dr. Friday, against the Unity Labour Party, the Ralph Gonsalves administration in the last elections. Those petitions sometimes are just sitting there and the courts are not swiftly taking them up, and so you have sometimes you go into 3 years, 4 years without a court hearing on some of these election petition. And I strongly believe that something needs to be done. If St. Lucia is going to go into the CCJ, there needs to be an understanding, and even with local courts, that when it comes to election petition, that the courts need to act much quicker. They need to act sooner, and it shows us there's a pattern there that these courts, they try to have a hands-off approach when it comes to these type of cases with one party against the other. And you know, I'm trying to look into it. Today I spent some time just trying to follow some of the cases that are there sitting in the courts, 4 years, 5 years, and we know politicians, they're elected for 5 years. So these cases make no sense after 5 years. These cases make absolutely no sense. So therefore, there needs to be a discussion. There needs to be, among the legal system, a discussion on elections petition, because based on how things are going in the Caribbean, you're going to have a lot of petition out there with one party saying I won, the other party saying, oh no, you then, we won, not you, we, and there is that conflict where it ends up in the court and a judge got to make that decision. There is not many guys out there, legal guys, who would want to get involved in saying to a government, yes, you won, this one lose. So that's why it lingers so long, and that's why also there is this major concern about the CCJ, where you have former politicians being appointed to that court, and there are a lot of politicians. I tell you, there are a lot of politicians out there who are lawyers who are eyeing a seat on the CCJ. And that's a fact. They are former senators. They are former Speaker of the House. Well, not the one we have now. He ain't no lawyer. He would not end up there because he's a bazooka man. But to be real, there are a lot of other persons out there from either the Labour Party or the United Workers' Party who just sit by and hope and pray that they can be appointed a seat on the CCJ. Now, the CCJ is not something that started yesterday. It has been out there, but again, it seems like these kind of discussions are too heavy for us. We prefer the little fights and the cussing off and all those things, but these are major stuff that we as a people need to sit down. We need to sit down and we need to discuss them. We need to look at them. You hear me? We need to look at these things. Sorry about that. Somebody was asking me if I am on, and I tried to get the link over to them, and that is true. In other words, we major in minors. We major in minors. So let's get back to our clip. All right, share the live, please. Let's get back to our clip. Just bear with me. Just take your time. It might be a little boring tonight, but tomorrow the Labour Party government is going to go to the House and they're going to have their discussion. Now, this is going to take St. Lucia one step closer into the CCJ, and one step closer to the CCJ without a referendum, without the people of St. Lucia having a say. So let's go. And by the way, we got to remind ourselves that elections do have consequences. And while as an opposition we can stay out and say, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, they were elected. Yes, you can put outside pressure. But with this government, there is not much outside pressure that can change their mind, especially on the CCJ. The CCJ was a baby of what it was a dream for Mr. Kenny Anthony. It was his dream. It was his dream. There is nothing the United Workers' Party can do right now to stop it. What you can do is to protest. You can speak on it. It will go down in history and it will say, look, the United Workers' Party stood up. But outside from that, pressure should have been on a long time ago. From the time we had that discussion, we heard it in the news, we should have been out there planning. There should have been major protests around the country, from community to community. So sometimes we're a little slow in acting, and so a government feels that either the United Workers' Party are too timid, the people are not unified, they're not making any sense. You call a strike or a protest, and only 2-3 of them shows up, and so they laugh in the face when they hear protests the second time. They laugh. They laugh. They laugh at the United Workers' Party. And even when we are engaged in this cussing off and shouting match, they laugh even more. They laugh even more. So let's go. Let's just be careful, folks. Let's go over to some news there. And this news is from 2014, and this is from Jamaica. There was a debate. There's a debate. I want somebody to look up. I want you to look up, folks, and see whether Jamaica is in the CCJ. I'm not going to tell you. I want you to look up, do your research now while we're speaking, and you will type for me in the chat whether Jamaica is in the CCJ. And if it is, I want to ask you, who is the Prime Minister of Jamaica now? Who was the opposition leader then? What was his position? Did he register his position in 2014? And my answer is he did. Mr. Holiness did register his position in 2014. All right? So my question again is Jamaica in the CCJ? All right? So let's go over. All right, so Miss Catherine says no. Maggie says no. And George and Charles said no. Now, why? Now, the Prime Minister, Mr. Holiness, is a very smart guy. Not because he was a Seventh-day Adventist or he is a Seventh-day Adventist. But Mr. Holiness is a very smart Prime Minister. A no-nonsense Prime Minister. Let us go back and listen to his debate on January 20th, 2014, over there. Let's go over to Jamaica. I'm not going to say much more.
Is sticking to its guns. The JLP remains staunchly against the government's attempts to do away with the UK Privy Council and accept the Caribbean Court of Justice CCJ's appellate jurisdiction. Opposition leader Andrew Holness made it clear in Parliament on Tuesday that his party will not support the 3 bills brought before the House in support of the CCJ. He argues that the Caribbean Court isn't a priority at this time.
The CCJ is not a priority at this time. Mr. Speaker, we have presented solid arguments on this side, arguments that are rooted in reason, arguments that are incontrovertible. That side has not contradicted anything that we have said here. We have presented to you, Mr. Speaker, the facts, which is why, Mr. Speaker, we on this side will not support the 3 bills brought here.
The government contends that acceding to the Caribbean Court of Justice is another step in fulfilling Jamaica's political independence, but Holness believes the government should redirect its attention to economic stability. The opposition claims that CCJ debate is a distraction.
The Jamaica Labour Party is about the economic development of this country. It is through our economic independence that we will truly gain and be able to say that we are politically independent. I said to the people of Jamaica, do not be fooled by these arguments. You are not going to get any more recognition when you step into someone else's country because you have a Caribbean Court of Appeal. You have to solve your economic problems here and now, so that when you stand up in the world, you can say Jamaica is a country that has conquered crime. We have high growth. We have good education. That is how you're going to be measured and respected as a politically independent country, when you don't have to look to other countries for loans and for aid.
Meanwhile, in countering, Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller says the JLP's stance on the CCJ has been inconsistent. She's urging bipartisan support on the bills.
Any member of this Honourable House who is not prepared to record his or her positive vote in favour of these bills is not acting in the best interest of the people of Jamaica.
But 3 months before they vote on the CCJ bills. The bills have been before the House since 2012 and require 2/3 support in both houses of Parliament. The government has a solid 2/3 membership in the House of Representatives. However, they would need at least 1 opposition member to ensure passage in the Senate. Legislators will vote on April 28.
The opposition and all of us have 3 months to think on these things. I invite the opposition to take the principled approach. Mr. Speaker, this is 3 months in which to place ourselves on the right side of history or to be condemned to the dust heap of history concerning this matter. 3 months, Mr. Speaker, to lift up our people and to empower them to enjoy and to be able to exercise fundamental rights that our national heroes struggled for, and to set out on a path that we have carved out for ourselves.
Now, folks, you understand what the Prime Minister of Jamaica said a while ago. You understand what the gentleman is saying, and he's right. He's saying, look, you don't even have food security in your country. You don't even have proper health care. But you're talking about wasting government resources on the CCJ. What he's also saying is that the CCJ is of no consequence to the poor families. Poor families cannot even pay a local lawyer to go and deal with a land dispute. There are many young men in our court system in St. Lucia, 3-4 years on remand, 5 years on remand. Cannot even get a good lawyer to get them out. Cannot even pay bail to get them out. But they are sitting there in a court system there in St. Lucia. But we are concerned about what? A CCJ. That means nothing to a poor family in St. Lucia. A CCJ, now think about it, and in 2014, when Simpson was the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Jamaica was going through hell. The crime rate was ridiculous. The opposition leader then, Mr. Holiness, the guy took the right position and he was rewarded by the Jamaican people. He became the Prime Minister of that country. And he stood with his conviction. Miss Simpson, you know what she wanted to do? She wanted to make Mr. Holiness feel guilty about not joining the CCJ, when Mr. Holiness know that the CCJ only, only the bourgeois, our political system can get their cases run up there. Why? Because they have the money. My question is, how can a hungry family in Denry afford to get their cases heard at the CCJ? Why can't you as a government focus, my friends, on providing economic activity in the country to develop the people? You're talking about the ash hill of history because of the CCJ. But I will say to you that history is going to deal a bad hand, because St. Lucia, at this time, there are a lot of people who are undernourished. There are a lot of people, who, especially children, who are not getting the proper nutrition that they should get. There are families who are working for $4 or $5 a fortnight. There are families that cannot afford their light bills and their water bills. And what you are focused on, look at our healthcare system. Our healthcare system is broken. In 2023, our healthcare system broken. Prices at the supermarket skyrockets every day. Shortage of flour, shortage of sugar. Education, it's topsy-turvy. Carnival, it's more organized than any other sector in St. Lucia. Government services, broken, dysfunctional. Hospital, shortage of supplies. St. Jude, men and women together in a hospital. Where's the dignity? So we are measuring, we're going into the house to waste precious resources and to buy expensive food for Mr. Speaker and the House members, while our people out there are catching their tail. And we are fighting with the CCJ. Why? Because the CCJ from the beginning was Mr. Kenneth Anthony's baby, his dream. And I guarantee you, as soon as you go to the CCJ, Mr. Anthony will leave you all and go sit down aside, retire, and wait for them to call him to the bar to sit on the CCJ. And there are many of your lawyer friends who are hoping that they will get a recommendation or a call to the CCJ. So all of the elites are fighting. The elite lawyers on the island, they're fighting basically for a place on the CCJ. I am telling you, if you're going to sue for a Castries, Babino, Ancillary, these people don't care a hoot about CCJ. They don't care about the CCJ. And when I look at the way the country is being managed is that we are putting the cat before the horse. The things that should be priority, we are messing around with them. Our roads, look, somebody got killed because of our roads. Blame it on the road. It is the road. But can the family get a good lawyer to sue the government? Can the CCJ help the family of the dead man? That would have been a nice case for some lawyer to take pro bono and sue the government, because they have a responsibility to provide safe drinking water, safe air for people to breathe, and a safe road networks on the island. But they have failed, and Mr. Anson, my friend, is over there with his backsliding ways. That's my friend, don't get involved. His backsliding ways, using his preaching voice to say Mr. Shasta is not good, and this is why we should not elect him, as if elections is tomorrow. But we have a family who is dead. These people are insensitive. We have a dead man run over by a taxi driver. If you are fixing our roads, there should be proper. You should not have two guys doing a pothole without having a safety person to conduct traffic, for God's sake, to slow down the traffic. You can't just put up a sign, stop men at work, close to a pothole. You got to slow that thing down from way up the road. You got to put notice way up the road, man, miles, so that people can know that there is road work going on. But no, we are busy with the CCJ while our people are dying on the streets, on the road. That's our priority. And I'm going to say it again. Our poor families don't care a hoot about CCJ. They can't, because they can't even go to their local courts and get a fair trial. If you're not a government minister, your cases, most of your cases are kept for years, while you have young men languishing, innocent men sitting in jail, becoming hardened criminal. And you're talking about the CCJ. You can't even spend time to fix our local legal system, but you are spending thousands of dollars to talk about the CCJ when we don't even have a proper legal system in our country. You don't, and people are questioning the legal system, because it seems that if you are of a certain party, certain things happen. Look at what happened with Mr. Healy. As soon as the government took office, his case was called blam 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 Prime Minister escorted by Bazooka Man, and guess what? Immediately, everything was settled. Justice was served according to the Prime Minister. What about justice for our families who can't afford justice? What about our families who are being abused by Massey Supermarket, given all kind of expired foods, and when you bring the bill back to get your money, they cuss you off and they give you the ring around the roses? Is that legally sound? Is that justice in the country? A speaker who can just say what he wants, and all lawyers and legal advocates are just quiet because everybody is hoping to be promoted to some prestigious position in the legal system, while the legal system fail our people. Look at Bank of St. Lucia. What Bank of St. Lucia is doing to the customers, especially persons who are retired and have moved back to their homes, receiving foreign checks. Look at the mess that they're overcharged, their monies are delayed for weeks. And then when you go to the bank, some of the staffs are so indisciplined and rude They want to tell you to go and borrow $5 until the next 3 weeks. And you're telling me that is justice in our country, and we're talking about CCJ in somebody else's country? Brethren, something is wrong. Something is wrong. I am telling you, something is wrong. When we should be talking about the hospital, we should be talking about our roads, we should be talking about our local legal system, our boys who are sent to the boys training center. Some of them are criminals who are sent over there. And the excuse we get is that, oh yeah, they escaped to go to a concert. Oh, there's nothing to be concerned about. It's just, these are good boys over here. Nothing to see, nothing to see. Don't worry, everything is safe. Where's our legal system? When police officers write up bogus reports, false reports on innocent people, just to ensure that they win their case and they look good for promotion. Where's our legal system? When all our legal system, our legal scholars, our legal fraternities, during when the SLP is in power, all of them go and take moo pills. They can't talk on legal issues. They can't represent. They do nothing pro bono unless you are part of their government. Where is the emphasis on our local legal system? But tomorrow, a rush with the elites to get. There is always a benefit when you see all the governments rushing the way they're rushing. There is always some benefit for somebody. Somebody have their eyes on something. So there's this rush. And these guys know fully well that it means nothing to the local people. I'm not seeing the emphasis on the local systems where you can have a special court to deal with, little petty violations. Little petty violations. We don't have that. You're being bullied by court officers, bullied by lawyers. Lawyers take your money and they do nothing, no case, nothing. I have a document right here. I have a document on my desk right here. 20 years ago. Mr. Richard Federick was the lawyer then. And there was another one. 20 years ago, the court made a decision for my stepfather. The guy stole Mr. Ronald Parrish. I will call your name out. Ronald Parrish from Grozile. He used to work with customs. He used to order vehicles. He's a used car dealer in St. Lucia. Took the man $20,000. Went to court. The court made a decision. And they said to him, you got to pay back with interest. Up to this day, not one enforcement. No enforcement in St. Lucia. They make decisions. There is no enforcement. We walked over and over. We said to them, look, we have not received the money. Nothing at all. And you're telling me that we're going to fix our crime problems? Some people are just tired. They're fed up. And there are some people that will not go in. They will not go. They will not even think of going to a lawyer. They will not even think of going to the court system. One, they don't have the money, and two, they don't care because they know what's going to happen. $20,000, 20 years. Have the court documents. Let me tell you something. There is swift judgment for the rich and the elite. And there is slow justice or no justice for the Malawi, the so-called Malawi, the poorest of the poor. When they have been given expired medication, or they're being or some malpractice in some system in St. Lucia. Nothing for the Mali way. I'm not even sure if some of these hospitals have insurance. I don't know if the government is paying insurance for them. Who knows? But there is a rush to the CCJ. You know what? I really want to go back to Jamaica. Let's go back to Jamaica again and listen to Mr. Holiness. Let's go back.
With the UK Privy Council and accept the Caribbean Court of Justice CCJ's appellate jurisdiction. Opposition leader Andrew Holness made it clear in Parliament on Tuesday that his party will not support the 3 bills brought before the House in support of the CCJ. He argues that the Caribbean Court isn't a priority at this time.
The CCJ is not a priority at this time. Mr. Speaker, we have presented solid arguments on this side, arguments that are rooted in reason, arguments that are incontrovertible. That side has not contradicted anything that we have said here. We have presented to you, Mr. Speaker, the facts, which is why, Mr. Speaker, we on this side will not support the 3 bills brought here.
The government contends that acceding to the Caribbean Court of Justice is another step in fulfilling Jamaica's political independence, but Holness believes the government should redirect its attention to economic stability. The opposition claims that CCJ debate is a distraction.
The Jamaica Labour Party is about the economic development of this country. It is through our economic independence that we will truly gain and be able to say that we are politically independent. I said to the people of Jamaica, do not be fooled by these arguments. You are not going to get any more recognition when you step into someone else's country because you have a Caribbean Court of Appeal. You have to solve your economic problems here and now, so that when you stand up in the world, you can say Jamaica is a country that has conquered crime. We have high growth. We have good education. That is how you're going to be measured and respected as a politically independent country, when you don't have to look to other countries for loans and for aid.
Meanwhile, encountering Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller says the JLP's stance on the CCJ has been inconsistent. She's urging bipartisan support on the bills.
Any member of this honorable House who is not prepared to record his or her positive vote in favor of these bills is not acting in the best interest of the people of Jamaica.
But 3 months before they vote on the CCJ bills. The bills have been before the House since 2012 and require 2/3 support in both houses of Parliament. The government has a solid 2/3 membership in the House of Representatives. However, they would need at least 1 opposition member to ensure passage in the Senate. Legislators will vote on April 28.
The opposition and all of us have 3 months to think on these things. I invite the opposition to take the principled approach. Mr. Speaker, this is 3 months in which to place ourselves on the right side of history or to be condemned to the dust heap of history concerning this matter. 3 months, Mr. Speaker, to lift up our people and to empower them to enjoy and to be able to exercise fundamental rights that our national heroes struggled for, and to set out on a path that we have carved out for ourselves.
Yes, that was Jamaica. Jamaica said no, we are not going. And not only that they said no, there's a different prime minister there, Mr. Holiness. Yes, he opposed it. And I showed you in St. Vincent the Vincentians, many of them did not fully understand or understood anything about the CCJ. They rejected it. Now, St. Lucia has not been given, you St. Lucians have not been given the opportunity to even have a discussion on the CCJ. They took away your vote. They took away your voice. On a major decision like that, a major decision for the elites. The elites took away your voice. Yes, they took away your voice. And they're going to ram it down your throat. Why? Because they're saying to themselves, we won. You lose. Forgetting that the reason why they are in power is because of you, the people. Majority of you who are listening to me did not vote for them. A lot of you stayed home. So you voted for them. Those who stayed home, you voted for them. So they are saying to you, we don't care. We have the votes. We don't have to come to you. The people elected us to do what we're doing now. The people elected us to do all what we're doing. What I would say to you, sir, that the people did not elect you to bully them and to bypass them. Consultation. And Miss Alvina Reynolds, I just want to mention your name because you was one of them who stood with Alison Jeux in the boulevard shouting at Mr. Shastney, telling him to consult, consult, consult. No consultation. Those were your words. No consultation. No consultation. Where is the consultation now? Is there consultation with the people? No, there is none. So, Miss Alvina Reynolds, you are basically a hypocrite. And I don't really call people names, but you're a hypocrite. Because you're the Senate president, you should be advising, and I'm going to listen to your argument after the House sitting. I'm going to listen to it deliberately and document what you are supporting. Because as far as I'm concerned, there was no consultation with the people. There needs to be a referendum. I know there will be none. I know you're going to vote for it. You're going to support it. St. Lucians, there is not going to be a referendum. These guys are set in their ways. They were set in their ways to keep the gas price taxes up for fishermen. They are set in their ways to give you a building that is not fit for the hospital. They are fit in their ways to slow down the process of the building of the airports. They were stuck in their ways to keep you with all your potholes. They are stuck in their ways. So this is a decision that has, basically it's done. It's finished. E fini. Finish. But I say to you, there are many more to come. Listen to me. Watch this space. Stay engaged. Stay focused. Flabos, listen to me. Stay away from the drama. Stay away from the drama. Because while you're doing your drama, they are taking the opportunity to implement things that will affect you later on, and you are missing it because you are involved in Roro. For me, there are too many Roro queens on Facebook. We need more people that can discuss the issues, and that's why I support George Charles in coming on and start doing his live. But don't come on my time because I'll expose you. That's my friend. But we need people to stick on the message. Stay on the message. These are big decisions and there are more to come. Don't let nobody spit in your eyes and tell you it's rain. Stay focused. God bless Miss Williams, who just got elected in Dennery. young woman, beautiful. She have all my support, 100%. And we need more young people, but young people will not be attracted to us with all this kind of old man Roro, old woman Roro that we have in. How is that benefiting this discussion that we're talking about there, CCJ? Now listen to her St. Lucian. Maybe she's an SLP, maybe she's a UWP, I don't know. But this lady was former DPP, and so she's saying, look, she have her eyes on the CCJ judge. She want to be a CCJ judge. She was an MBC. Huh? Yes, I'm going to show you. So don't think that they can bamboozle us. I'm putting the truth out. She may be a good woman, God bless her, but and that's what I'm saying. People want to be on the CCJ. That's prestigious. People want to go there. So you can tell me who this person is. I don't know her. I don't know her, so I'm going to put it on.
And her plans include an extension of her career in the justice system. She noted that there are several avenues which she hopes to explore, including an application to serve as a judge on what the region is pushing to establish as its highest appellate court.
There are now several avenues open to me, and as you said, with my experience, knowledge, and background, I've worked in several areas in the justice system. I am hoping that I can utilize it on a more regional or maybe international level. Certainly, I would love the experience of being a judge. I would love that experience. Yes, it is one of the options that I am looking at.
Charles Clark adds that her passion about reforms in the justice system has fueled her drive to pursue the goal of serving as CCJ judge. She says having worked in the system as a magistrate, registrar, and DPP qualifies her for the position.
I am very familiar and I have intimate knowledge of many of the issues and challenges that are faced in the system, and I think I have I have a contribution to make, and it is very good that we have donor agencies like, the Canadian government that's willing to invest in our justice system in the region, and to have it being dealt with or being managed at the highest level by the Caribbean Court of Justice is indeed, it augurs well for the future.
The former DPP says she did not seek a contract with the government to continue in the position because of the career path that she intends to take. Sherry Ann Gillard-Williams, NBC News.
Now, folks, that's an old clip, so don't hold it against her. It's an old clip, and I mean, we're just going back in times, and I'm just pulling everything up, folks. Just bear with me, all right? So we're going to go to Grenada, Antigua, and Bermuda. Those three countries says no to the CCJ, all right? So we have Jamaica, St. Vincent. Now we have Grenada, Antigua, and Bermuda, all right? So let's go over there, folks. Hold your comments.
Bermuda have voted against the move to have the Caribbean Court of Justice as their highest appellate court in separate referenda held yesterday. President of the CCJ, Justice Adrian Saunders, said, while the news is not what we hoped for, we respect the people of both nations and their decision. The court will naturally continue ongoing initiatives with justice sector bodies in each of these countries and the wider Caribbean through the Jurist Project and otherwise. The CCJ will still be serving both Grenada and Antigua and Barbuda. In addition, there is an original jurisdiction case currently before the court originating from Grenada. Antigua and Barbuda have said no to the Caribbean Court of Justice as the country's final court of appeal. In a telephone interview with TTT News, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, said his administration knew that getting 67% of the votes was a daunting task, virtually unachievable without the support of the main opposition party.
The support of the opposition was very important to mitigate against the natural inclination of electors to vote no in a referendum. And this is a point that I raised during the initial consultation at the Multipurpose Center. Unfortunately, despite our commitment to pursue a joint initiative with the opposition, the efforts failed. Instead, members of the opposition were successful with their propaganda, which was predicated on lies, half-truths, and innuendos.
Though disappointing, he said the outcome was not at all surprising. He is, however, satisfied that his government discharged its responsibility by making the option to join the Caribbean Court of Justice available to the people of Antigua and Barbuda.
My biggest disappointment is the impact of this failure on future constitutional reform. It is unlikely that my government will, in the circumstances and in the absence of political maturity and magnanimity, pursue any further constitutional reform in the near future. My government has decided to move on. We will put this unfortunate development behind us and press on with the people's business.
In Grenada, election officials reported a low voter turnout with just 21,979 of the 79,410 registered electors casting their ballots. 12,133 voted to remain with the London-based Privy Council, while 9,846 voted in favor of the Caribbean Court of Justice as the country's final appellate court.
Now, folks, you all realize, let's look at Grenada for one. I told you, half of the Malaways don't understand the CCJ and they don't care about the CCJ. 20,000 persons came out to vote. And you heard what Gaston Brown said from Antigua. The man said, look, I knew we were going to fail. He said, I knew we were going to fail. But at least he gave the people the opportunity to make a decision. And I credit him for that. I credit him. He gave the opportunity to his people. And you know what he said? He said, we're moving on. So we finished with that. All the monies that was spent, we finished with that. Jamaica said, no, let's do nation building. Let's provide opportunities for our people. Let's get food. Let's get medical. Let's clean up crime. Let's focus on those things. That's what Jamaica said. But in St. Lucia, what's going on with you St. Lucians, folks? What's going on in St. Lucia? Do you not have priorities? Do you have priority items that need urgent attention? When you're in opposition, do you not have a list of urgent matters that need to be attended to? The CCJ is one of them. Mr. Ernest Hilaire case is one of those urgent matters that need to be attended to. Locking Mr. Shastney out of the house was one of the urgent items you guys had to on your list. Having the cussing match from almost a whole year in the house, that was on your priority list. To embarrass one man, that was your priority list. I'm beginning to think something is wrong. Look at crime. What kind of blood sacrifice was laid over this country that every day the blood of St. Lucians are required to atone? And it is not like Jesus where he says that without the shedding of blood there is no remission of sin. Every day there is a bloodshed. Blood is running all over the country. If you look at the map, St. Lucia is red not because of Flabo. It's not because of the SLP red color. It is red with the blood of the people. The blood of the people are crying out from the streets. Every day there is a death. The year just started in January. Every day, every week there is a murder. Every week somebody is dying. Where's the priority? And then you have my friend Anson on KKRR on Saturday night talking about, that the man heard the report that persons got killed, people, people lost their lives, and this man is there about Shasney, crime, Shasney, Shasney, and then he said this. Oh, Mr. Pear is not responsible for the crime. That's not his responsibility. Are we brainwashed enough that we cannot understand that when you elect a government, you elect them to protect you, the citizens? You elect them to protect you from high gas prices. You elect them to protect you from food poisoning. You elect them to protect your air, the very air that you breathe. You hire them to protect your water that you drink, to ensure that you have clean water. You elect them so that they can ensure that you have proper road network. You elect them so that they can help you with better health and minimum wage and all these things. You elect them to serve you, to work on your behalf. So how come you're telling me all of a sudden Mr. Shasney is not in power? Your government is not responsible for anything at all. And if you listen to them, they say to you, it is not us, it is the world market. Everything is the world market now. The fencing for St. Jude, the world market. So basic supplies to the hospital, the world market. Sugar that just comes out from Guyana behind the road there, guess what? The world market. I don't know how shipping is being affected by the world market in Trinidad, Barbados, and also in Trinidad or Guyana. I do not understand for the life of me. I cannot understand it. All kind of excuse. Oh, we don't go out there and commit crime. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. We would be crazy to say that you go out and you commit these crimes. You can take us to the CCJ. What are you guys responsible for? Collecting a salary? Cussing off Mr. Shasney? That's what we elected you for? Huh? What were you elected for? Listen to me. You guys got to re-educate us, and you got to teach us all over again how this government works, how government's supposed to work for the people and not against the people. And every government who work against the people deserve to be voted out. Because when you are doing all your nonsense, families are suffering. Families are burying their deads. Families are going to hospitals and they are afraid for their own lives in a hospital. They are afraid that steel will fall on their backs. They are afraid that you will put a woman, an elderly woman, in the same room next to a man. The poor granny have never slept next to a man for years. But as soon as she goes to the hospital, she'll have her sleeping next to a man. You're not wicked? Huh? I don't understand. Who is responsible for what? The citizens are responsible for everything? I don't understand. No electricity at Daito in Dennery for the fishermen. The facility there run down, broken. Who is responsible for that? The people? Who is responsible for the maintenance of our schools? Who is responsible for the security of our children? Who is responsible for it? Parents now have to hire security guards to protect their schools. Parents got to do it. Parents got to hire security guards to protect their communities. Is that what you're saying? I'm going to ask a question tonight and I'll need some help on it because I don't know. Mr. Anson said on Saturday night, I did not answer him because I don't know about it. He said that Mr. Chasney took away monies for the training of police officers. If anybody can enlighten me, I don't have my telephone line open. I left the phone in the vehicle, the main phone. But someone need to enlighten me under this live. What money did Mr. Chasney took away from the police that they could not? Let me just ask the question nicely. All right? And then I'm going to I would look at the live and we'll start taking your questions before we close. All right? We're not going to be staying long. I'll take your questions and I'll take the answers from you there. All right? Let me ask the question again. What monies did Mr. Chasney took from the police officers for training and hiring that we cannot hire police officers in 2003? Can somebody answer that for me? Because I heard Mr. Anson Maxwell, my friend, saying that the reason why we have crime is because Mr. Chasney took away the money from the police officers, so he defunded the police officers. And for me, when I look back at when I look back at the archives of history, electronic history, what I saw, Michael Shallery, good to have you here. And let me look at you because I suspect I know who you are. Yes, you're from Dennery. I know your family. I know you. Let me just address you. I've had great respect for your family. Don't come here to try to insult me or to ask me any crazy questions. You know me very well. I have never insulted you or your family. I have never said an evil word about you and your family. So don't come here because you're an SLP to break that friendship. Your mother was very nice to me and I was very nice to her. I mean, we greet each other, smiles and everything. She's a Church of God. I know who you are. So don't come and ask me if you're a pastor or a political pastor. I am both of them. But shame on you, from Dennery. I know you. I don't know why you're doing this garbage. And I took the time to answer you because you should know better. And I always say to you guys, if nobody trouble you all, don't come to insult or to insinuate or to besmirch people. If nobody's troubling you guys, people have a right to speak. And that is the foolishness, Shallery, that you guys are doing in your community. When your party is in power, you are the only one that needs to speak. When your party is not in power, then you're the only one that should speak. Nobody else, no citizens. All other citizens need to just be quiet and just allow you people to speak. Is that right? You're a fire officer in Dennery. Is that right? That nobody else can speak, but you can speak. The United Workers' Party supporters cannot speak on what is happening in their country, but you have all the right. You have more right than them. Why can't you respect people's view? Why can't you respect people's constitutional right to speak on the issues that affect their families and their communities? Why can't you do that? You understand what I'm speaking. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm speaking on issues. I'm educating. I'm enlightening. But you come under the live just to act like a fool. And I gotta call you out. Because that is being idiotic. It is being stupid as a big man. Allow people their constitutional right to speak. That's your problem. Allow them to speak freely. It is called freedom of expression, freedom of choice, freedom of affiliation, freedom to express oneself. What, you want a dictatorship country where one set can speak and the other set can't speak. And that's why I say to Flabos, allow people to talk. Allow people to air their position. Allow people to stand their position. Allow people to have their conviction to speak on what they're convinced about. But what you cannot do is to insult. It is idiotic. And that should not be tolerated in a free society. What do you want, a dictatorship? I can speak. You can speak. Your cousin can speak. And by the way, all your friends and family supporters who are Christians and jumping in red with the Labour Party, they're not Christians too? All the nastiness that's going on in the community that some of you are encouraging. Our children being raped, women being raped and abused. I cannot speak. Lack of opportunities for our young people. Women prostituting themselves. You can faire bomb because you're panning la ha. Examen qui can faire bomb même si from ça. And some of you politicians, you have your wives, and you can faire bomb you in all kind of corners with all different women. I have those stories here. I have women who call me with these stories and speak to me. I know your names. These women are hurting. And I suppose to just come here and allow you to come on a platform and spew your nonsense. I have never disrespected you. I've grown up with you guys. I know you all. You grew up on the highway there in Dennery. And you guys were pleasant people. I don't know what the devil has taken over this country. No wonder blood is required every day in the country. Blood is required because of this mentality. Man, listen to me. Don't get me started. Just leave the live. If you don't support my position, just leave the live and go. Why come here to torment yourself? And I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm not going to encourage it because it is high time for you guys to know that St. Lucia does not belong to you. It belongs to all citizens, whether they are born there or they are not born there. If you sell a passport to me, I am a citizen. And there is nothing you can do about it. You change your policies. Bunch of jokers. Let's move on in the history. Let's move on. I'm done with y'all. Bunch of jokers in the country. No wonder we can't even attract good people in politics. Thank God Kiki RR wake up. He wake up. He's more wiser now. And you all know fight, he's coming around. He's coming around. Because he's seeing the nonsense. Every time he speaks about something or he question, anytime Kiki RR question Philip Jepe, you can jiwe, you can di IPA, SLP, you can create lead, tout kalte bagay, you can di broke, tout kalte betis you can di. Manji. Anyway, folks, let's go to a clip because, and by the way, I actually took that opportunity to exercise my voice and to flex my muscles because, well, I tell you, boy, the more and he's not a young guy. He's not a young guy to be doing that foolishness at that age. Bible says when you're a child, you act like a child. Now you're a man, you act like a man. Ou ka vin a bap live moun ka fe bêtise e kou, a gonom kou. Huh? Anyway, Anali. Anuali. Okay. There is a question here. Should the CCJ take over the Privy Council as final courts? Let's go over to that clip. Now, it's a very old clip. Folks, I apologize that I had to go on that long rant, but sometimes you get tired, honestly. Sometimes you get really tired. And sometimes when you look on Facebook and you hear people telling you that you're a thief and you do this and you do that, and you know honestly that you have not done anything like that. But people keep pushing, and the type of people who are pushing it are dishonest people. Dishonest people who are doing those things. They know the real issues. They know fully well that they're wrong. But they're trying to convince an audience. And that's what I can't take, folks. Anyway, let's go over.
Manipulating the process. That is not so. Because the amount of Caribbean judges who ruled against governments over the years, I mean, too numerous to mention. And I believe that given the structure of the Caribbean Court of Justice, that it is something that we should work towards making a reality.
A number of our jurists have sat on the Privy Council and continue to sit on the Privy Council. So it's not a matter of quality. I would sway towards the CCJ. I think, however, the public ought to be more involved in whether we go the CCJ route or the Privy Council.
If the Court of Appeal has faults and is not working, we must be able to fix it. I agreed with those governments who have supported the Court of Appeal, and I believe wholeheartedly that the Caribbean now has the intellectual capacity. I even believe we have the moral capacity among the people, the rank and file, and even among some of our leaders. I think we have the moral capacity to stand on our own.
If we are independent, there's no reason why we should not go on our own. You don't need the Privy Council. But what worries me, I don't think we have reached a stage where we can set aside the Privy Council.
Listen to me, folks. And I'm going to say it now because I'm going to say this now. The CCJ should have been your choice, St. Lucians. No doubt about it. I hope you're understanding me. I know that there are many of you who do not understand what the CCJ is all about. Some people say it's just a court. Like I said to you, look, it's for the elite, basically, because come on. How many of you can afford to appeal a case? Somebody thief your boost on your house, or thief your boat or something, your car. You find a person, you take them to court. The court rule against you, whatever it is, you want to appeal it and take it to a different level. How can you afford that? You can't even buy food, tire. Huh? You can't even buy a nutritious meal to eat. You can't even pay transportation to get to work and back. So I understand you're saying, look, it means nothing to me, but guess what? Anytime you allow a government to take away your powers from you, it makes it easier for them to continue with that trend. So today it's the CCJ, tomorrow it could be anything else. And that's why a civilized society, need to know how to stand up and let their voices be heard. And I say it again, educate yourselves. Educate yourselves on the issues. And there are more to come. There are more major decisions that would need the voice of the people. And just like they have bulldozed their way, all other countries, except for a few, have called for referendums. Small, this is not small because they have all these small Guyanese islands. But even Ralph, who is power hungry, knew that he had to consult the people of his country. Why is St. Vincent Lucia? Brethren, understand my concern. Why are our people in St. Lucia not given the opportunity to put their little tikwa next to the thing, for or against, simple. So it should have been you educate the people about the CCJ. If you believe it is so important to them, you educate them about the importance of it. And then you allow them to make a decision. Even though, like Gaston Brown, he tried to cuss off the people in a smart way because he didn't have his way, Ralph Gonsalves did the very same thing. They kick up a storm when the Vincentians say, Paisia, not here. Trinidad, not here. Jamaica, bigger countries, not here. St. Lucia can fit into Jamaica and Trinidad. They said not here, not Hispaisia. But you St. Lucians are just running like chickens. It is so important, we must do it now. What are you all planning to do? Is there something behind this? Are you planning to do something else? Constitutional reform? What are you all thinking? Are you all trying to pass laws to prevent Mr. Chasney from becoming Prime Minister because you said he was not born in St. Lucia? What is your plans? Let us know. Show your hand. Let us know. Let the people know. What is your plans? Are you planning constitutional reform? What are you planning? What is it? There is something behind it. There must be something behind it. Please, let us know. Because you said, and your people are saying, that Mr. Chasney should not be a prime minister again. So you all are ensuring that he will not be a prime minister. So what's coming next? I'm going to listen, keep my ear to the ground. What is going to happen next? Constitutional reform? I bet you St. Lucians that there is going to be constitutional reform. Well, excellent. Ça même yo pas de plan pour vous, yo pas de plan. Jusqu'à faire bagay qui va. Okay, so let's read some of the things and we'll go. But folks, there will be, y'all are headed into the CCJ. There will be no referendum, and that's it. So right now, zo plat dong platate. Y'all rights was taken away from y'all. No CCJ. I guarantee you, St. Lucians, that if the government had put that into a referendum, it would have failed. You know why? C'est flabo même. C'est flabo ba dormi. They're not sleeping, just like in St. Vincent. The Vincentians were upset with Ralph, and so anything he brought forward, they would have voted it out. And I suspect these guys sensed that the same thing was going to happen. And so there's some advisors in the Caribbean which advise prime ministers, especially from the Labour Party, and this man was advised, don't even go there because it will fail. Don't go there. Your people will vote it out because the people are upset with you. High prices of gas, potholes, no hospital in Vieux Fort, the airport ceilings falling down, people can't eat, sugar shortage, rice shortage. There's just uncertainty. If you had put that to a referendum, I am saying to you, it would have been, the people of St. Lucia would have taken it like an election campaign. And they would exercise. They would do they would do exercise with their tikwa. They would go blindly and they would say, look, I don't care about CCJ. I want you out. And they would have voted. They would have sent a signal to you that you are who they want. They're going to get you. You are who they're after with their tikwa, not the CCJ. Because most poor people don't care about CCJ, as I said. And so you did not want that. The people would have come out in big numbers because all they would be thinking is that vote, elections, vote, elect. You pa même di referendum. You got the elections. Ek le yo fini ek se ti kwa yo. Say, you would not even think about calling the next January elections when it's due. Referendum, sir. So you already calculate that. You know that. Huh? You know that. So you say no. But you are the government of the day, and what can we say? The government has spoken, and the government, they're saying, look, that's where we're going, and we don't care what you say. We don't care what you say. It's going to happen. And we're going to debate it. The opposition can shout as loud as he wants. We are dragging all of you. Y'all can scream, y'all can beat, y'all can do all kind of things. We're dragging you straight into the CCJ. And when we're finished, we will drag you into other things. You have no right. A matter of fact, what they're saying to you is that you have the right to remain silent. And that's why Charles from Dennery, the guy could have come tonight to basically tell me to shut up. That's what he was trying to do. Because we have the right to remain silent. My party is in power. But I say to you, one of these days, as the years roll by, you will understand when St. Lucians will course correct. And he that is up will come down. Then you will only understand the power of the people. And that you must never mess. Never ever mess with the voice of the people, the liberty of the people, the freedom of conscience of the people. You must never mess with basic constitutional rights that are afforded to every citizen in the country and out of the country. Being out of a country does not mean that you are not a citizen of your country. It does not, and that's why the diaspora, the voice of the diaspora, need to be heard even more. It should be a powerful voice, a powerful force to be reckoned with. The voice of the people. But the voice of the people must be unified in a shout. And that's how the walls of Jericho will come crumbling down. The voice of the people must be united. The feelings of the people must come together. Those who are disillusioned and discouraged, those voices must come together and shout in unison like the sound of a choir, with the baritone, the tenor, and soprano. And they must shout it out so that the walls of injustice can come crumbling down to the ground. And then the wind of change will blow through the whole island from Dennery to Vieux-Fort to Castries. And a new day would have dawned in St. Lucia. A new day would have dawned when a new prime minister is sworn in. A new cabinet. And then the work would commence with building a new St. Lucia, developing Vieux-Fort, developing our health system, our food security, as we come together in one voice. Like Martin says, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. And I quote, someday. And yes, we will overcome. Because the longest rope always come to an end. Change will come. And until that change come, we will bury our deads. We will go to St. Jude in fear. We will suffer shortage of sugar and high gas prices. And high food prices we will endure. but we will overcome one day. But I say to you, and I want to address finally the United Workers' Party, and this is from my heart. I want to speak to you from my heart, and please don't judge me. I have thought about this, my presence here. Prayed about it, I've thought about it over and over before. I said, Lord, should I continue to be a voice on this platform? I said, Lord, it seems like the people are against me. Those who once love and appreciate the services that we offer here. I said, Lord, I'm going to take a different course. You know what happened to me? I tell you, I came on tonight not feeling myself. Between a rock and a hard place, just wanting to just get back to that quiet place where you're not hearing your name shouting on Facebook Lives, but instead you are in this peaceful place. But how can I be in a peaceful place when there are persons who cannot eat, when there are people who are losing their lives because of potholes in a road? And when this guy came on from Denry, it confirmed that your voice needs to be heard. And you speaking on this platform does not make you less of a Christian. It does not take away from your Christianity. But there are people who are depending. The 500,000 people that I minister to every month on this platform, they are out there and they're depending on you and your voice. And like Martin Luther, who was a Christian, stood in his pulpits and he preached, he shouted. He shouted out for justice, social justice. He wanted the right for black people to be able to have the freedom, basic human rights, just to walk in the streets, just to petition their government, just to sit on the bus, just to sit even in church next to their white brethren. They just wanted the right to be human. It did not take an unbeliever to stand up. It took a Christian preacher to stand up. And even us Adventists, because he is not keeping the Sabbath, we are enjoying those same freedom, those same benefits, and we celebrate Black History Month. But you got to remember, the hypocrisy among us is that the black preacher was a Baptist preacher who stood up on behalf of the voiceless, and who stood up not only for blacks, but he stood up for whites and Hispanics. The same freedom that we are enjoying now. One black preacher rallied his forces together, and the wind of change came. Finally, they killed him, just like they did with Jesus, because Jesus came and he turned every traditional practice upside down that the Jewish leaders, the Christian leaders, you know what they did? Because Jesus wanted to care for the hungry, the naked, and the homeless, and the crippled, you know what these guys did? The church joined with Rome with a government system to kill him, all because he was looking out for the poor people in his day. Social issues he was killed for. He was killed just for raising Lazarus from the dead. He was killed just for healing a crippled man. He was healed just for rejecting those preachers. The preachers used to sleep with the woman. And the preachers brought the woman to Jesus for him to condemn that woman. Jesus, who is Jesus, saw those crooked hypocrites. And he wrote their sins in the ground, in the sand on the ground. All of their sins was written on the ground. And they walked away. And you know what Jesus said? Woman, go and sin no more. That's the Jesus that I represent. Not the hypocrisy among Christianity. You sit in your churches like you are God Almighty, condemning the pregnant woman, condemning the people with their shortcomings and their weaknesses. Call them Babylonians, no good. Jesus don't like them. He's only your God. So you sit in your churches and all your concern is about your offerings, your tithe and your offerings. And when I come on the scene, then I am condemned, just like Jesus, just like Martin Luther, just like all the other pioneers and preachers who have gone before me. And even as Adventists, as Christians, we are not too clean when it comes to slavery and the freedom back in the days of our black brethren. We wanted to separate them too. We wanted to have white churches and black churches. So that's the hypocrisy that I stand up against, and I have a renewed hope that I can make the difference. I have the renewed commitment and strength that I need to tarry yet a little while. And I need to observe the wind of change as it blows. So I will continue to be a voice of the poor. And until the Lord says to me, stop, I will not stop. And I will say to you, I am not here for gain. I'm here for them. And that's why I stand with Diana Williams in Dennery. I stand with that young woman. I stand with her. It's the right choice. She's the right choice for the office. And I say to you, United Workers' Party, from my heart, and listen to me. Don't tell me shut up. Listen to me. Whatever you do, stop fighting your own. Stop assassinating your own. I am very innocent in this matter. Stop assassinating your own and stay focused going forward. Look at the mark. Look at the price that is set before you. What you cannot do is to create a mega crowd, group in your party. Be vigilant, yes. Exercise wisdom. But what we cannot be is a rural party. Our party should be built on policies, on building a bright future for the people of St. Lucia. That's where our focus should be. And when our weaknesses will get in the way and our strength become weak, there will always be a faithful soldier in the group that will say, press on, move on, forget about the past, and look before us. The wind of change is on our side. Stay the course and stay focused. Somebody got to stand up now before it is too late. Let us not discourage those with good intentions. And let us rebuke swiftly, when we must privately, those who have erred. Because we are losing a population of young voters and committed United Workers' Party, people who have been there from the foundation. We are either discouraging them or we are losing them. It is time for us to help Miss Williams in Dennery, to pull and to rally our young people together. Miss Williams is not in this calicasse. Williams is a focused girl. Let us give her the encouragement and the support so that she can rally the young people of Dennery together. I beg with you as I leave, I beg you please, brethren, discourage as much as you can with all your energy, divisiveness and division among us. I am committed to doing it. And as I said, press before and leave those things that are behind and press forward. And if you don't believe me, the winds of change are right in your reach. You have a system that is unpopular, but you got to remain focused. What you do not want is people to say to us, when we get close to the finish line, that you turned me off. Stay positive. Stay cool. Oh yes, I wasn't too cool earlier tonight, but that kind of thing you can do. You can pull these people up when they come on your live and do foolishness. You got to pull them up. But with our camp, stay the course. And we will achieve the victory together. And what a day of celebration is going to be. When you look back at all these lives and you say, boy, look at us on the Caribbean American News or on the Gregory Live. Look at us. Look at us now. Our programs are still going on, but what we are doing now, we are now sharing the achievement of our government, the success stories. Joycelyn, Dr. Fletcher. I'm not saying that she should be in diaspora affairs. She did a very good job in diaspora affairs. Now, what you have is when there's special programs in the diaspora, only one party shows up because the other party feel unwelcome to official government programs like independence. People don't even want to show up because they're afraid they'll be victimized and asked, what are you doing here? I went to a town hall meeting. I am a government town hall meeting, you know, not an SLP, and people are asking me, what am I doing here? Now, when Dr. Fletcher was responsible for diaspora affairs, everyone was included. Everybody come to the table. All of a sudden, it is a red society. Red society. So we need that change. We need that change. And my prayer is that we remain calm. There's an old song that I love. It says, calm me, Lord, and keep me calm. Let's just read some of the statements and then we will log off. Folks, I hope that you have a beautiful night, and I hope that you have some patience with me tonight. I just wanted to share. I just wanted to honestly vent and let you know that I am human and I love my people, and I speak to my people every day. Every day. I look at developments and I cry when you hear of death, accidents. You feel that pain in your guts like a punch. Until we prove ourselves not genuine, let us consider all genuine. That's how Jesus sees us. He knows our hearts, but he considers us just and good. And then he says, do likewise. All right? So let me not talk anymore. Let's just read, folks. All right? Let's just read. Okay, I'm not going to go way back up, but I'm just going to touch on some of the points here. Okay. Okay, so we're here. Catherine Bernard, I stand with her. My spiritual mother, Dr. Fletcher. Dr. Fletcher, I have not spoken to you in a while, you know. Dr. Fletcher, we need the young in governance and women. That is so true. Lauren Hippolyte gives the thumbs up. Amen. And George Gregory Charles, the price at hand. Oh, yes, indeed. Very close. And Joyce Professor, be the change. Doc, I am the change. I've been hearing my name jumping even yesterday I heard my name being cussed off from our own people. And I said nothing. I come here and I do what I have to do. But the problem is that not a lot of people are saying to that person, stop. They're being cheered on. And so when I come to speak up, or, when I come to this platform, then everybody's like, oh, you be quiet. You have everything to lose, so don't say much. And that is wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. George Charles, that's right. Why are I calling you George Charles? Gregory Charles. All right, amen. I'm just trying to get through quickly. Catherine, whoa, murder every day. Poor St. Lucians are crying, and that's true. And my friend Cleopatra, Garfield, let us stay the course. Amen. And I'm praying for you, my friend Cleo. I pray for you and your mom. I hope all is well. Catherine, watch the space. Oh, yes. Watch the space. And my friend Fletcher, she has a dog with some question marks at the top. And my friend Shalry, when they have to talk, they're not talking. I hope tomorrow they go outside of Parliament. Even though they go outside of Parliament, friends, it's already in the bag, all right? But it's good to show your displeasure against, your rights. Catherine St. Bernard, she will do well. And my doctor, Dr. Fletcher, we have Garfield, so leave this, please. You have no idea how much we did. Please ask her. Okay. All right. Amen. I know that, Doc. I know you all have been a tremendous source of strength to her. And it only gets better. It only gets better. YouTube, I'm coming over to you quickly, all right? Dryla, the outgoing chair is not for Shas. Okay. But while you're saying the outgoing is not for Shas, the outgoing is also a United Workers' Party supporter. And that's what I was saying. Not supporting Shas does not mean that you are not UWP, and we got to get to that place in understanding that. Is Mr. Shasney the best leader right now for the United Workers' Party? Yes, 100%. But what we cannot do is to say, once you say you're not supporting Mr. Shas, you're not a UWP, that one should not be. We should allow persons to say that I don't support Shas, I support Gregory and stuff, and just move. We should move on. But everybody, I believe, want the best. Well, not all, but majority wants the best for. And some people are just malicious, they're just envious, and there's jealousy, there is hatred for Mr. Shasney. But he have proven himself, and the man is a product that sells himself, Can't wait to see if they will come tomorrow. Yeah, right. Bravo to you, Brother Garfield. Great show. God bless you, my friend. And my friend Yard. Another murder. Was there another murder today? Dr. Fletcher, we, the senior women, stood and supported her, so I am answering for the Flower Executive. Blessings to you. You see, well, I'm outside, so I am assuming. I'm just asking for more help. Ian, my brother, Brother Garfield encouraged them to turn out tomorrow outside of Parliament. Is there a protest tomorrow? I have no information on that. Is there a protest? Let me know, please. Is there a protest? Shane, are you, and you speak the truth. Thank you. Maria, Pastor Garfield, good program. Learn a lot. Thank you. Josie, whoa. Yeah, Garfield, just move past this, please. That's what I'm saying. You all don't want me to speak my truth, you know. Yeah. Fletcher, you are not better than Jesus, and they said words to him. It's true. That's right. Yard, sometimes we have to ignore. That's right. Gail, Pastor, God will do the rest. Forget, and he says, yes. Let it rest, please, thanks. How are you? Sure she is. Donovan, are you going to represent in Denver? Oh, by the way, Shane, I'm registered, a paid registered. What else can I say? Guess what? My registration was there so much years sitting there that it didn't even catch dust. But we were able to send in a little money to help pay for some other persons who had outstanding, whose registration was outstanding. I was able to send down to assist. So we are doing what we can. All right? Baldingate Shas all the way. Yes, my friend. And I told you why I appreciate Mr. Chasney, because I saw his stick-to-itness, and two, during COVID, I looked at the man, and this guy was on like an Energizer bunny. Imagine you are fighting a pandemic, and you are also fighting an opposition. And not only you're fighting an opposition, you're also fighting internal battles. When I saw that, friends, I saw strength. I saw strength. And so I have no doubt about him. I have no question about him. There's an old song which says, he is simply the best. Yes. Okay, so Ian is confirming that there is a protest tomorrow. I have no information. I do not have the time. I have no information, and I am one of your bloggers, folks, and I have no information whatsoever. I am a blogger. I am a voice. So you all must send things to me. Don't leave me in the dark. Oh, Yard, we in Texas sign our registration forms. Yard, you all are late, you know. You all lucky we have grace on you all. That should have been signed a long time ago and submitted. But never late than never. Not a protest. We are standing outside Parliament. Okay, it's not a protest. Dr. Fletcher, I trust the information. Once she give it to you, you can take it to the bank or the church. She's saying there is not a protest. We are standing outside Parliament tomorrow at 9 a.m. St. Lucians come out to show how we feel about CCJ. So I encourage all St. Lucians under my voice, if you have the time, make the time, go stand with Dr. Fletcher and all the other folks outside the House of Parliament with your placard. I hope I can get some feet from you all, God's willing, tomorrow. All right, so there is a gathering outside. It is not a protest because there is no permit, but you have the right to stand out of Parliament peacefully and show your disgust with this move. Y'all say Texas is ready. By the way, when you all have your lunch in Texas, whether you all invite me or not, I come in. All right? And I'm not a snake. I come in. Yes. Yes, I'm positive that Shaz is called. I stand with him. Amen, Dr. Fletcher. So we have no doubt. And I think people should stop this fight with Chasney because, especially UWP, it is very clear. that there is no other leader at this point. Not that there will not be in the future, but right now there is nobody else. There is no need to fight. There is no need to fight. All right? There is nothing stopping progress. Believe me. All right? Shalry, good night, my beautiful sister Joycelyn. Yes, Cleopatra too is nice, you know. That's number one prime minister, leader extraordinaire, visionary. Yes, he is. And Yard says, where's Auntie Clarice Sammy tonight? I don't know where she is. Everyone is invited. I want to know everyone invited. I need special invitation. You see how you all treated me? That's what I'm telling you. I'll do a whole life on you, you know, Miss Yard. I need special invitation. Yeah. Catherine, I will be there in spirit. We are in the planning stage. Good. St. Croix in the house. Hey, Xavier, St. Roy in the house. Oh, my Dr. Fletcher, my mom. Me to Garfield, I am going to... Doc. Doc says she's going to Joella's house. Yes, yes. So two of us just showing up with our bags. We will meet her on her job and then we will go to the house. Yes. And Ian, Julie, I will be in Texas too. Ian is there. You live on Villa, whatever it is. I put in my tent in your yard. And okay, so we're going to leave now. Cleo, good night, Dr. Flesh. Please, let me have some respect for our YouTube viewers. Just a minute. Our YouTube viewers, say good night, Pastor, and everybody else. That's Donovan. Donovan, good night. Give it to them, Pastor Gabriel, because SLP think they right and Flabber don't have the rights. Boss Lady, call him out faster. I did. Boss Lady, disrespectful. Boss Lady D, exactly. Exit stage left. By the way, let's flush him. Let's give him a little flush tonight. Yes. Let's give him a little flush. Flush that fella, man. Yeah, man. Flush, flush, flush. And we have Sylvia. Continue to speak out, my brother. God will use you always. Thank you, my friend. Sylvia, as a Christian, we should speak up even louder because we know better. We will never stop speaking the truth. Amen. And Sylvia Francis says, good program. Folks, God bless you as we continue to stand with our brothers and sisters, especially those who have no voice. Remember to like and share. May God bless you. Good night, folks. Enjoy. We have snow here in New York. My whole backyard is white. I wonder if I can take the camera and show you guys my security monitor. Hold a minute, please. Don't go yet. Let me show you all. Let me see if I can move the camera and show you all the video camera. I'm going to show you the snow on the monitor. Everything is white. Can you see? The backyard, everything else. White, white, white. Ian, stop loving my Dr. Fletcher. Stop taking all my love. And Cleo. By the way, we have a representative from St. Vincent. There's a problem there from the the NDP, which is the opposition party. A few activists have been arrested there. They are being targeted by the police system and the government. So the spokesperson for the opposition party will be on the program, I think this week or next week. I will let you know. All right? But they have been arrested just for speaking up and protesting. Y'all can see the thing? Oh, sorry. I had my thing mute. Let me see. Y'all are seeing all that snow outside? I don't know if it's short. Oh, Ian is confirming it's snowing in Brooklyn, yeah? In it? Yeah. That is the security camera, backyard, front yard, side yard, all over the place. Cameras everywhere. Cameras colo. Yeah, man. So, folks, good night. Have a beautiful night. Okay, see you all, folks. Blessings. Good night, my friend. Good night.